everyone, and welcome to the General Hospital Recap for November 22nd. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. It'd also be a beauty and hit that bell down below so you get notified every time we upload a new video. Let's get right to it. At Sunny's, apparently the turkey is taking a really long time. Sunny is giving cooking wisdom to Michael, and apparently he's on his phone texting, and he says it's Nell. Michael, what you doing? Apparently Nell texted him Happy Thanksgiving. Michael says that he wants to stay nice since town is only so big and he's still her landlord and he doesn't want things to be weird. Jocelyn is already there. Oscar shows up. He's all dressed up and Oscar says his mom had to go back to the house and get a pie that she forgot, but she will definitely be here. And Oscar says that his mom can be a little bit much. Have you met Carly? So he's more concerned about Jocelyn meeting her than vice versa. And they kiss again, and they're adorable. What can I say? Carly comes to greet the guests, and Oscar says his mom will be back soon. Carly comes into the living room with Oscar and Jocelyn. Sunny tells Michael to make sure the gates stay open and the guards stay out of sight. Jocelyn asks Oscar about Oscar O'Brien, and turns out he's not his father, he's gay, and there's some other info too that, like, it's just, he's not his father. And I'm glad he looked into him more without actually contacting him. Oscar's mom comes to the door. We finally meet her. She seems nice. It's all nice to meet each other, da-da-da-da-da. Oscar and Jocelyn are gonna go check on Avery. And Kim, his mother, immediately brings up organized crime and how well he's done for himself. And it's like, okay, so we're just jumping right into it. But it's like, I feel like you just wouldn't bring that up though in real life. Like if you met someone who like dabbles in that, you know what I mean? Sunny tells her about his coffee importing business and Michael gets a call. It's Ned, so he walks out. Kim says that she has done her due diligence. She knows who he is. And he says, well, a lot of it isn't true. And she mentions the Stone Kates Memorial, and that's amazing work, and the amazing things he has donated to. Credit where credit's due. But also, he's connected to a lot of criminal allegations. Carly says that she's been trying to get together for them to talk, and Kim says that her practice is very demanding and it's very hard for her. Oscar is more independent than she'd like, and it can lead to bad decisions. That's one way for a parent meeting to go. Kim wants them to understand that she won't interfere in Jocelyn or Oscar's relationship. She doesn't think the relationship will last long enough that it'll be worth the headache. Okay. Jocelyn stays out of the public eye, so let's just let it play out until they get bored. And Sunny says that these kids are special, don't count them out just yet. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. She doesn't play any games and she puts her cards on the table, so I mean, I guess we gotta give her that, right? At Lante's, Maxie and Nathan come over. Olivia is here. Ned comes in. Whole family. Lulu asks Maxie if she's pregnant, and Lulu says that Maxie cannot deny an Italian this information on her anniversary. And Maxie's like, first of all, you're Italian adjacent, okay? And second of all, that's not a rule. And she says, Lulu, why don't you find out who leaked the information to the invader? I love it! I love it so much! Ned and Dante talk about the lack of Quartermain pizza. It doesn't feel right for the Quartermain house to be empty on Thanksgiving. Dante and Nathan sit down. Manlanders gets brought up. Nathan is like, I don't want to talk about that. Have you noticed Maxie's been acting weird lately? And me and Dante said it at the same time where we're like, lately? Ned talks to Laura and Kevin about redoing the Charles Street area. Apparently Laura had protested this like toxic waste site that ELQ wanted to put there. And Ned's like, oh, Michael's distanced ELQ from anything not super environmentally conscious. And then they all go around and say what they're grateful for, and it's time to eat. And Maxie isn't super excited. They lay out all of the food on this beautiful like buffet, and it's all like Thanksgiving food can get a little rich. And when Olivia hands Maxie her plate, Maxie all of a sudden is overcome with the need to throw up, and she grabs herself and she grabs the edge of the table and knocks the whole table with all of the Thanksgiving food over on the floor and runs out of the room. And I laughed so hard, it's not even funny. That might be one of my favorite scenes all year. Like, I kid you not. That was hilarious. At the Quartermains, poor Charles Jason goes to the Quartermains and looks at the pictures. Monica is back. The staff is off, and Olivia and Ned are at Dante's. Her plane was grounded, so she's here, and poor Charles Jason is really happy to see her. He wanted to make sure that he and Monica are still good. Carly and Sonny and Robin, they're all telling him his entire life is someone else's. Robin met the other guy, and that's all it took. He went from being a friend to a stranger. Sonny and Carly believe the other guy is Jason, so what do they need with him? And how long until his family feels the same? Monica says that he won't lose his family, no matter what. Sonny and Carly aren't his family. She is. She's staying. And he says, what if we find out I'm not your family? So he's starting to have his own doubts about who he is now. And she says it doesn't matter. They built a relationship, and he's still her family, regardless. Sometimes he thinks he's not really him, but he's grateful to have her as his mother, and she's grateful that he's her son. Ned calls Monica and invites her over to Dante and Lulu's. Ned also calls Michael. And Monica wants Ned to enjoy the holidays. She's good at the Quartermains with her turkey burger. At J. Sam's place, Steve Burton Jason is at Sam's door. He wants to come in. It's important. He wants her to tell him what she wants him to do. He tells her about the hard copy of the fingerprints that Diane is getting. Eventually, they're going to prove that he is Jason Morgan unless he tells them to stop. And she says, why would you tell them to stop? Steve Burton Jason says he doesn't have anything to prove. They know the truth. He could live his whole life and never use his name again if that makes it easier for her. And she says none of this is easy. Sam tells him he can't do this. Sam says poor Charles Jason remembers everything. He's 100% that he's Jason Morgan, just like you're 100% you're Jason Morgan. And now he's being told that none of it's real. Steve Burton Jason doesn't know what to do. And that's why he's here. What should he do? What will make this easier? What will make this go away? Because he thought if he stepped back and let poor Charles Jason use his name, then they can go on with their lives. Sam asked them what would happen to him. Is he just going to leave? Sonny and Carly wouldn't let him leave. They spent 5 years missing him, and now that they have him back, he's not going anywhere, and he shouldn't go anywhere. But is she really talking about Sonny and Carly? Steve Burton Jason thinks that the situation is only going to get worse, and Sam says, let it. The only way to go forward is to know the truth. She wants to know who's Andrew Moore and who's Jason Morgan. He'll tell Diane to keep working on it. Steve Burton Jason tells Sam about Max and Milo getting the night off because of Jocelyn's boyfriend and mom. They kind of have a moment and a laugh about that, and you're almost transported to 5 years ago. Danny comes downstairs and he says hi. He asks Jason, Steve Burton Jason, if he's coming to Thanksgiving, and he's like, oh, I'm going to a friend's, but happy Thanksgiving. And Steve Burton Jason leaves, and Danny likes her friend. He's nice. Yeah, he's your father. At Alexis's place, Molly and TJ and Stella show up, a little homage to the whipped cream incident last year, and David is there cooking. Hi, David. I'm warming up to him. Well, I like him like as a character separate, but him and Alexis, I'm kind of warming up to this. Curtis and Jordan are outside. He's waiting to hear from one of his contacts, and Jordan says, it can wait. Let's have Thanksgiving. They come in, and Jordan compliments the dressing that Stella's made in the past, that it's the best dressing she's ever had. Did she bring it? And also Jordan and Curtis brought heavy whipping cream. So there's going to be more whipped cream than dessert here. Molly asks Alexis if she's going to reach out to Christina today, and Alexis says that she tried and Christina wouldn't talk to her. Molly then wants to talk about Dr. Bench. Alexis invited him and apparently didn't tell anyone she was inviting him. And Alexis says he didn't have anywhere else to go for Thanksgiving, so I invited him. And David, Dr. Bench David, is looking to get out of his apartment, and he's looking at Charles Street. A lot of talk about Charles Street, which makes me think we're going to see Charles Street soon. Stella brings up Olivia Jerome. Molly didn't see the statement on TV that was made. And then Stella gets informed that Liv Jerome is the sister of Alexis's ex-husband, and Stella's like, oh. And Jordan gives some more information just generally about the case. Olivia is claiming responsibility for everything, and Jordan hopes that Julian's appeal will be denied, but he could be released. And poor Charles Jason comes in. Sam's not there yet, and he thought that she was going to beat him there. So then Sam and Danny come, and poor Charles Jason is like, oh, what happened? Like, I thought you guys were going to beat me here. Alexis comes out with the turkey and then drops the turkey. Seems like the Quartermain curse is spreading. So it seems like poor Charles Jason is definitely a real Quartermain after all. And now end scene. Nathan and Maxie are back at their place. She's in bed kind of resting, and Nathan's worried that she's sick, and she says she's not sick. There's something she's been trying to tell him. She's pregnant, and he's like, what? No, what? No, you're not. What? And they're having a baby, and he's so excited. Like, he is beyond excited and happy and just like ecstatic. Like, there aren't enough adjectives to tell you how excited Nathan is. So am I. I'm so happy. They've been one of like my favorite couples that I've watched from the beginning of their being together. David stayed behind to help Alexis clean up. She feels like she's a disaster. He says, then you're a glorious, intriguing one. And she's like, really? And then she kisses him. Carly thinks Jocelyn and Oscar have a special connection, even if they're not going to be together forever. And Kim says she's sorry. She handled things badly. Carly's like, look, I get it. Kim doesn't beat around the bush. They seem to be relating better. And Carly asks if Oscar's dad was ever around. And Kim's like, oh, it's complicated. Oscar and Jocelyn come back downstairs. Sieber and Jason comes back to Sunny's, and Kim recognizes him and says, Drew? The whole crew from Lante's house and the whole crew from Alexis's house come to the Quartermain mansion with pizza and sing the Thanksgiving song. And Monica's there, and like literally there's like a pizza for every person. Like, everyone's holding a pizza. It's a lot of pizza. They'll be eating pizza for a month. And it's really beautiful, and a beautiful to leave off for the holiday weekend. I will see you next week for more Drama Hospital, and we'll get patio chat up this weekend. Alright, I'll see you then. Alright, bye!